This is a really simple video on how to create a navigation using components in Figma. I decided to put this together because recently I've been involved in a project and I didn't use components, which was a proper pain at the end of the project when I had to update items within the navigation. So instead of using components, which would automatically update on every page they feature on, I had to do it manually, which was, it doesn't sound like a pain, but it was when I had to update hover states and active states as well, which you could do using components. So this video is going to help you not make the same mistake I made. I'm going to show you how to make it so it looks like this. This is a really simple wireframe, just to kind of make it as clear as possible. So this is literally all it'll look like when I've finished. So it's got 4 items down the left and you can click into each of them, but they are all using components. So each navigation is a component. Well, it's an instance of a component, and the main, all of it is a component as well. So you'll see why it's so useful to do that as I go through. So here's what it looks like in Figma. So you can see there's 4 pages and there's 2 components up here. So if you're new to Figma, components are really great if you need something that is used on multiple pages. So for example, a component would be a footer, because that's the same on every page, and it doesn't, generally it doesn't change on each page. So you'd make a footer component, and then you'd make an instance for each page. And then if you needed to make an update, you would make the update to the component, and then it would update everywhere else. So you make one change and it transfers to every single page that it's on. So really great time saving. So here's what we're going to make. So these are instances of these components. So we've got the navigation, which includes all the items, and then the navigational item there that's active. So I'm going to show you how to create an active state and a non-active state for all of them that's editable within each component. Here's the 4 pages, and then if I zoom out and click on prototype, you can see all the different links as well. So instead of having to link the pages at a page level, you can link them in the component, so then it's transferred over to all the pages, so you haven't got to go in each navigation in each page and link up each pages. You can do it directly from the component. Without further ado, let's make our new page. So Command N to make a new file, and then I'm going to add a frame. So I'm choosing a desktop one. Okay, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Frame, desktop. Okay, great. So I'm going to add a title, so cars for sale. Just changing the font size quickly, and then instead of copy pasting, you can hold down Option. So I'm on a Mac. Holding down Option, drag, let go, and then let go of Option. It's much better than using copy paste. So what was it? GTI Golf. Oh no, it was all R at the top. So I'm not going to add the other ones just because I need to make this as a component. So to make, I'll just zoom in so you can see what I'm about to make. So I'm going to make this navigational item. So as I click into it, you can see that's the title, and then it's got the active state here, which I'll explain in a minute. So I'll just make that now. So this is going to work like a nav on a page that's on the left, or obviously you can make it as a drop down across the top. So change the fill. So do I want to fill? I do. So maybe like that. I need to send that to back, so you can either click on Command and I don't even know what that is. It's the bracket. It's like the curly bracket button. Anyway, so that's the navigational item. So I think I wanted to show that it was, yeah. So I've got a little section on the left there. So duplicate that. Make it small, copy it in, make sure it's on top, so Command, and I'm pressing that like square and curly bracket facing left, so it's the right curly bracket, and I'm going to fill that like that. So that is our navigation that we'll use. So now we need to make it into a component. So grab it all, Command and G, which groups it, and then I make it as a component. Mouse is not working properly. Create component, there we go. So now, as you can see on the left, it's changed. So it's got those 4 little dots in a sort of diamond shape. So now that is a component. So what I'll do is move the component out of the frame. Components, personally, I don't use components in frames. I use them, keep them outside, just because then I can see how many components I need to use, especially useful for handing over projects to the developers. Then they can see exactly how many different components there are. So I'm going to name that to nav item. And then I'm just going to tidy it up. So we go into it, and because this is an active state, so the background and the left bit is an active state, I'm going to group those two together. So here I'm going to move the title to the top, and then I'm going to group those 2 triangles. So group, Command and G there, and then I'm going to title that active. So now we can turn it on and off, and that's what we're going to use later on. So that's my nav item. So now I'm going to copy that down. So again, I'm using Option, so press down Option, and you can see that little arrow, drag down, let go of your mouse, and then let go of Option. So that's the first item in my list. So I'm going to make a few of these. Oh, so this is now called an instance. And you can tell that because it's the same shape, it's got the same diamond, but it's not got the little bumps in it. So you can see that that's an instance. You can also see that it's an instance because of this on the side here. So if you wanted to locate the component that this instance relates to, you can click on this and it'll take you straight to that. Okay, so moving on. So we need to make the others. So again, Option, click drag, and then drag, and then drag. So I've got cars on the brain, hence why I'm just doing this so you can see. And then what was the last one? Electric. So it's always nice to have things nice and neat. So Golf Electric's at the bottom, so I don't want it at the top in this section, so I'm just going to drag it down. And then that one is there, and then that one is there, just so it's nice, so you know the top one relates to the top. So now I'm going to, because I want the Golf R to be active, I'm going to change the others to be off, so I don't want that to be on. I'm going to hide it, so that one off, and then that one again off. So now we can make the component of the nav. So you want to do this because when you make the component of the navigation, if you make changes to any links within that navigation, it will then update. If I copied these as they are, like the navigational components, onto another page, they would not, if I added then a link on this GTI on this particular frame, it would then not update on any other frames. So that's why it's important to create a component of a full navigation, like I said before, and I'll show you here if it loads. Yep. So all of these, this is what I'm about to make, but I'll just show you. This is what I made earlier. So this has got links on each item. So if I click on prototype, you can see each of them have got a link on. If I didn't make a nav component, I would literally have to make and add links on each of these items on all the frames individually. So that's not a good use of your time. So I would not recommend doing that. So now we'll make the component of the nav. Okay, so grab them all, make that as a component. Why is this mouse? Okay, so grab that, create component, and again move that one out of the frame, and then we'll move it back in, copying it again with the Option. So now this is completely made of components. So if I update anything here, it will automatically update in this, because these this is made of instances of the components. So if I change, for example, if I change in the nav item, so because this component here, I'll change the title so it's clear, because this nav list contains instances of this nav item, if I change this nav item, it will update in the nav, which will then update on the page. So I'll just show you how that works. So let me just change this rectangle to red. And you can see it's updated everywhere. That's how useful it is. If a designer or a client comes back and says, oh, I want that a bit longer, then you can instantly do it without it being a pain. So I'll just undo that because that looks bad. Okay, so there's my navigation, and here is the nav working. So what I can do now is I can create, because I need to make 4 pages, I'll do that now. So this is the Golf R page. So I'll copy this. So again, using the option, it's brilliant. So rename that. So that one's going to be next one in the list. So GTI. Copy that again and again. GTD and G electric. Oop. Can't spell today. Okay, so this is the Golf GTI page, but Golf R is highlighted. So what we can do there is find the Golf R nav, and the way I'm finding it is by holding down Command. So I can grab it there. That does tend to grab an element, whereas I want the group. So click on active and disable it. And because I want the Golf, I click into the nav, active, done. So that's that one done. So that's used all components. So if, for example, the client comes along and says, oh, I need to change Golf Electric to Golf, I don't even know another one for that. Let's just say 1.5 litre. It'll then update everywhere. So it's updated on all of them because it's an instance. So that's just how useful it is. But that would also work if you had to add another nav item as well. Into this component, it would then add another nav item into all the instances, so you can just see how useful it is. I'll just change that back to electric. There we go. Okay, so now I need to update these two. So this is the GTD. So again, find the active, hide it. Find the active and unhide. And then finally, Golf Electric, Golf R, hide. Golf Electric, active. So now we've got all our navigation looking nice on each page. We can update the links in the nav. So what we can do is here, so clicking on Golf R, you can set a prototype in one or two ways. You can click on it and then go up here and add, on click, I want you to navigate to the Golf R page. Or you can, I usually do this because I'm lazy, click on the element you want to link, click on prototype, and then there's that little blue circle, so you can then just drag. Then I want Golf GTD over here, Golf Electric, drag, Golf Electric. So now, if you click off that, you can literally see all those links. They're all linking together, but you've only updated this. So you can just see how brilliant it is, how quickly you can update something. And I'll show you how this looks. So if you go in prototype up here, yeah, sometimes it does that. So that's because there are 4 pages, but it's included the first component here. So what you can do there is, if it does that, you can move this blue play, it signifies the start of the prototype. So I'll just move that to the front of the Golf R, and that should have gotten rid of it. So I'll go back on the prototype, and yeah, it has 1 of 4. So now if I click anywhere, you can see the blue, that signifies a link. So now I can click through, and that's that. That's all the links added. Very easy. I will show you now that if you get a request to add another item in your nav, I'll show you how to do that. So I'll just move them up a bit. So your navigation, I will click on the last one and duplicate that, just because it's easy to click there. So that's the new one, but as you can see, it's actually been added underneath the nav. Actually, sorry, it's above. So here's the nav, and then here's the new item. So it's not part of that component yet. So what you can do there is open up the component and then shut all them, because it's just not nice to see, and then just drag it in at the bottom. But then you've got the problem, the component hasn't got the, you know, the height of the component doesn't include the new one, so because it is actually there, but it's just not taking up the height. So what you can do there is you can go up to the right hand side here and click on this button here that's resized. So you click on that and then it fits perfectly, and that's that. If you change, and then you can see it's updated on all the pages. It's not got a page for it yet, but you can obviously make one. What else can I show you just quick? So to get them all neat, if you click on all of them, you can see here that this is the space between. So let me just show you what happens if it's not even. So between these 5 elements now, it's not even. Therefore, that item then that you saw is not there, because it's not the same across all 5 of those elements. The space between is not the same, as you can see here. So what you can do there is to neaten them all up, go up to here and you can click on distribute vertical. If you click that, then it's all perfect and it's got a 2 there. So if you don't want any space, you could press down twice, or you can put a number in yourself or click up and down. But that's the really nice way to keep everything nice and aligned. And because I've updated the component, it's updated every single page because they include the instance. So there you go. I hope that's been useful.